All right, back live tonight here on In Focus. 8 VIP protection officers linked to an assault on the N1 highway in Johannesburg are back at work. The officers attached to the Deputy President Paul Mashatile had been in and out of court until they secured bail. They face charges of assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, damage to property, obstruction of justice and the pointing of a firearm. They handed themselves over after a video went viral in July where they could be seen assaulting 3 civilians. Defense attorney Ulrich Roux joins us now to make sense of the officers' return back to office. Ulrich, good to have you and thank you very much for your time. First and foremost, what are your clients and their families saying of this development?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. Yes, certainly my clients, I represent 3 out of the 4 passengers in the motor vehicle where the VIP protection unit members assaulted the civilians. They are disappointed that the police officers are back at work. However, they are also thankful that they are office-based as confirmed by the police and that they are no longer members of the VIP protection unit and accordingly hopefully incidents such as what transpired on the 2nd of July where they were unlawfully assaulted by these members will not happen again, given that these members are now not serving in that unit anymore. It is, however, concerning that the internal police investigation into the matter has taken longer than 60 days and in accordance with the internal rules and regulations of the police, they are then automatically reinstated in their positions as police officers, albeit not in the same positions which they held prior to the internal investigation. And my clients are, desirous and looking forward to the finalization of this investigation by the police so that they can also have closure on this matter pertaining to that leg of the investigation. They are, of course, still cooperating with the National Prosecuting Authority and the South African Police Services in the criminal charges that have been laid against these members. And they have so far cooperated in providing statements, working with the prosecution, attending to an identification parade, and the matter is back in court again on 9 November, when hopefully we will then obtain clarity pertaining to a trial date being set in this matter. And our clients look forward to a successful prosecution by the NPA in this matter.
So you remember that when the story broke in July, the South African Police Service said they are, as you put it, going to conduct their own internal investigation. And that, of course, has got nothing to do with the criminal investigation that is currently being conducted by the NPA, or at least the processes that are in court. Now, is it in line, as far as you know, with the regulations of their suspension, as far as the SAPC is concerned, that after 60 days they automatically are expected to be back at work?
Yes, unfortunately it is. To me, it's quite a bizarre regulation, to be honest. I think 60 days is more than adequate time in order to conduct an investigation like this internally. And it is disappointing that the police have not been able to conclude the investigation. Certainly, we have met with the internal investigators from the police. We have provided our full cooperation. We have assisted them where possible. And it is disappointing, as I said, that they've not been able to wrap this up within 60 days, which in my mind is more than enough time to do so. So, as you correctly point out, there is that internal investigation, and that relates purely to their employment, the VIP protection unit members. Then there's the criminal charges, which have been laid against them, and which is being prosecuted by the National Prosecuting Authority. And then there's also a civil claim for damages, which we have been instructed to institute against the Minister of Police and the members in their personal capacity in order to claim damages for their unlawful actions and the damages that they caused our clients by unlawfully and in a barbaric manner assaulting them, causing damage to their property, appointing them with firearms. It was all, as was clearly evidenced in the video, completely unnecessary, and we have been instructed to claim damages from them in that regard.
Yeah. You say you've been cooperating with the internal investigators. Are they facing the same charges that they are facing in court in terms of the disciplinary process? Because the commissioner says, well, the disciplinary processes are still ongoing. Even if they are back after the 60 days, normally they come back to work, they get allocated elsewhere, but the processes don't stop. The disciplinary process still continues until finality. What exactly are they investigating that is taking so long?
No, exactly. They must investigate the matter internally until it is finalized and until they can then hold a disciplinary hearing where they will then be leveling their own charges internally against the police officers. And then if they are found to have contravened the disciplinary code of the South African Police Services and as contained in their employment contracts, then that would be grounds for dismissal from the South African Police Services. Now, this is, of course, completely different from criminal charges that have been laid. In the criminal charges, they are being charged with having contravened the Criminal Procedure Act as well as the Firearms Act, in that they unlawfully assaulted my clients as well as the fourth passenger in that car with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm. They unlawfully pointed firearms at them, and they unlawfully caused damage to their property. So it's two completely different investigations that are being conducted, and the onus is also different. You know, the onus in their disciplinary matter is purely whether they have contravened the disciplinary code of the South African Police Services and what sanctions should accordingly follow in the event that it is found that they contravened the disciplinary code, whether it's dismissal or suspension, etc. Whereas the onus in the criminal matter is that their guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the NPA, and then the sanction which can follow from that, which would either be a period of imprisonment or a fine or both. So two very different investigations being carried out, and once again, my clients are offering their full cooperation with the South African Police Services as well, should they require any further information from us in order to finalize their internal investigation.
So the police saying the Divisional Commissioner for the Protection Security Services has appointed functionaries to proceed with the disciplinary process. What exactly does that mean? Is this another layer that they're adding on the bureaucracy that already exists in this process that, by and large, is going to delay this disciplinary process even further while the police officers might be in an office job, but I'm sure they are continuing to get their full salaries?
Yes, well, those are the internal procedures by the police. I cannot get involved in that. That is their own investigation that they conduct, except to say that, society and taxpayers expect the police to conduct these investigations as swiftly as possible, because on the face of it, there are police members who have committed a crime, who have contravened the Criminal Procedure Act, who have contravened the employment contracts and the disciplinary code of the South African Police Services, and it is in everyone's interest for it to be dealt with swiftly, because South African Police Services must set an example for all police officers and must show to society that we can have faith in their procedures which they carry out in the event that a police officer has contravened his or her employment contract and has acted improperly, and that it will be dealt with as swiftly as possible, and that a resolution will be found as swiftly as possible. So it is disappointing to see this being dragged out. One can only hope that they will find resolution as fast as possible, but this is not going to deter my clients whatsoever from instituting the civil claim for damages, as well as from assisting as far as possible in terms of the criminal prosecution that these officers face.
Being back at work, is there a concern that they might maybe interfere with the case in any way, maybe not necessarily with intimidating the the witnesses, but with the actual casework itself?
Well, remember that because they are police officers, this matter is being investigated by IPID, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, which is an independent body that investigates police officers who have committed crimes. We have met with the members of IPID extensively, and we have faith in their objectivity and their ability to properly investigate this matter. So, in the absence of any proof that they could possibly interfere with the investigation, we are not concerned about that at the moment, and we have full faith in IPID that a proper investigation will be conducted here. In the event, of course, that evidence comes to light of alleged tampering with witnesses or intimidation, then we will immediately take action in order to hold whoever is making themselves guilty of such an offence liable.
Yourself, you're still hopeful that this will be a successful prosecution on your part?
Yes, I do. I have evaluated the evidence, and my officers have worked together with the NPA in this matter, and we are confident that a successful prosecution will be obtained in this matter. The function of the National Prosecuting Authority is not to persecute a person at all costs, but to prosecute someone when there's reasonable grounds to do so, and when there's a reasonable foreseeability of a successful prosecution based on the evidence which is available to the SAPS and the NPA. And we believe that there is sufficient evidence in this matter to secure a successful prosecution.
Ulrich, appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much for coming on. That's attorney there, Ulrich Roux, representing 3 of the victims of the 8 VIP police officers.